Hello, I'm Scott Hardy from Young Couple 7. I'm one of the BFG teachers here, and we're continuing our series of big words from the Bible. Today we're going to look at the Trinity. So Trinity is one of those words that actually isn't in the Bible, but the idea is in the Bible in many different places. And the basic definition of it is that God exists in three persons: God the Father, God the Son, God the Spirit. All three persons are God, and there's still only one God. So it is a difficult idea for us to understand. And over the years, there have been lots of analogies that people have brought up, but all of those analogies really just fall short. So truthfully, the only example we have of the Trinity is the Trinity, what we see in the Bible. So like all things that are true about God, we get it from the Bible, and so we just want to look and see what the Bible tells us about it. And it is an idea that is more fully developed in the New Testament rather than the Old Testament, but there are examples in the Old Testament that show us that God does exist in different persons. One of those is in Genesis 18, when you have three men come to Abraham. One of those men appears to be God. He is spoken to like he's God, he speaks like he's God, and he's treated like God, and he doesn't stop anyone from treating him like God. So that shows us that it's, in some way, God could be a person, even in the Old Testament. And Old Testament writers, Old Testament believers would have had this idea that God would exist as a person, and they didn't seem to have a problem with it. So that idea is still there. And there are other instances of God speaking of his Spirit in the Old Testament as well. So the idea is there in the Old Testament. But again, the New Testament, there's a much clearer picture of the Trinity. One of those really, really good pictures is in Matthew 3, when you see the baptism of Jesus. You have God the Son, Jesus, being baptized, God the Spirit descending like a dove, God the Father speaking. So you have all three members of the Trinity doing something different and distinct at the same time, and also existing in the same place like that. So that's probably one of our best pictures we have of the Trinity. Another good example, I think, is in the Great Commission, where Jesus says to go and baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. All three members are given equal billing in that sense. And throughout the Bible, like, you would never give equal billing to someone that wasn't God. Like, that just would not happen. So to see God the Son, God the Spirit, and God the Father put in equal terms like that shows us that they are all God, but they are distinct. And so really, when we think about the Trinity, one of the things that I've heard before is that we don't necessarily need to understand the Trinity, because it probably is beyond our understanding, but we do need to believe in it. So that's because that is who God is, and we need to believe that how God has revealed himself to us in his word. So this is who God is. Another key thing for us to think about is we see God, or we see the Trinity represented in the plan of redemption very well. You have God the Father planning redemption, sending the Son, God the Son accomplishing redemption, and then God the Spirit applying that redemption to people. And so that's how God has set himself up and worked in the world through, and showed himself to be a Trinitarian God. And another thing I think that we can take away from it as believers is that we can see a unity within the Trinity that is modeled for us. Now, we'll never really achieve that unity, but we have God's Spirit within us, and as believers within the church, we should strive to have the same kind of unity, to be where someone would look at us and say that we are so much like God that our connection is so strong that we're almost as one. We can't necessarily get that, but that is something we should strive for, something that we look to model after. Jesus modeled that very well for us, that him and the Father were so closely connected that you could say they were one, and they are one. And so and then with the Spirit within us, we have that same connection, and we can have that same unity with God and with each other, and we should strive for that. And we accomplish that, and we get that through the Spirit being within us, and through the work that we have seen within the plan of redemption, again, through how God has shown us in the Trinity. And I think, above all, we should just rejoice in the love of God that we see in the Trinity, and it is very evident in that, and we should rejoice in that. Thank you.